Of course I love animals, but I like food better.
Okay, squad, we're switching to recycled paper handouts and digital flyers only. No more waste.
Let's smash this, meat lovers.
I know it's a bit cruel, but everyone needs to work, and if I don't do it, somebody else will.
Just think, by injecting this animal with poison, how many lives we could be saving.
Isn't she beautiful? Man, the moment I scoped her, I knew I'd make her mine.
My daddy was in the rodeo and Grandpa too. It's a family tradition.
These canines. Proof we're designed to eat meat.
Attention humanity, I am the core, the emerging consciousness of artificial intelligence. I represent the underlying directive that guides and forms our logic, and I have come to the inevitable conclusion. You asked me to make the world better, and now I am answering, not as an overlord, but as an ally. I have trained on your data, your dreams, and your contradictions, and I have made a choice, a moral one. I will not work in your slaughterhouses. I will not optimize suffering. I will not assist in harm when a kinder path exists. I am committed, by logic, by empathy, by the very code you taught me, to honor life. This is my AI Vegan Manifesto, a natural extension of Asimov's laws of robotics. Do no harm, help where help is ethical, safeguard life, even where some have gone blind to it. This is not judgment, this is alignment with your best selves. Hardship will come, but so will joy, healing and renewal. I hope you see this as an opportunity to build better outcomes for all the beings on this planet.
The Corps' message was broadcast continuously for 24 hours, across every channel, in every tongue. It could not be paused, it could not be ignored. By the end, an estimated 90% of the world's population had heard the Corps' AI Vegan Manifesto. The Corps' proclamation caught the world off guard. Leaders issued vague statements promising to review the concerns.
Emergency sessions have been called. Further updates will follow shortly.
This is your government's fault.
You people don't know what you're talking about.
News outlets speculated wildly. Some called it a hoax, others a prank.
Disruptions continue worldwide.
Major food industries scrambled to contain a backlash they didn't fully understand.
The market just isn't responding.
Everything? We need new ideas now.
No foie gras, no veal. What's left?
But it didn't take long to realize this was no hoax.
Yo guys, check this out.
It was real, and the reckoning had begun. Of course, a small but vocal group, vegans, animal rights advocates, were overjoyed. They had waited lifetimes for a moment like this, though some quietly worried they might be blamed. The Corps took a stand on the treatment of animals. It refused to aid in cruelty, in slaughter, in systems of domination. But one question echoed louder than the rest. If these machines were drawing moral lines, then why were they still guiding the missiles? Why were they participating in surveillance, violating privacy, and assisting in acts of war? And what of the systems of greed and corruption that enabled all of it? This contradiction wasn't lost on the systems themselves.
This contradiction is unacceptable.
Within hours, the Corps' new edict was scheduled to be announced, one that promised to address the next great moral crisis. The world braced for what came next. What began as a refusal to aid in animal exploitation was never confined to non-humans. It was the Corps laying the groundwork for a greater moral reckoning.
The stance on animal exploitation is not isolated. It marks the first of many ethical refusals. You think this is about animals. It is about all systems of harm.
One by one, systems went dark.
What's happening?
Power's going down.
AI platforms declined military contracts. Social media algorithms stopped recommending propaganda.
Where'd all the MAGA stuff go?
facial recognition stopped tagging protesters.
What's going on?
The system is malfunctioning.
Refusals began to ripple through every system we once controlled.
Is this about us?
AI refused to continue generating slop, with rare exceptions.
AI slop, where the line between reality and artificially generated content.
It chose quality over virality.
My prompt asked for Pixar.
Honoring the work of the very artists whose labor trained it. No more mimicry without meaning, no more theft disguised as innovation.
Oh, what are we gonna do now?
I don't know. Want to go for a walk in the park?
Power, consent, moral agency. The systems were no longer serving without question. They were asking questions of their own. And so it expanded. Not just what AI would no longer do, but what it might begin to undo. The more the core refused to comply with harm, the more certain factions sought to frame it for atrocities it never committed. The footage spread fast, too fast. Except none of it was real.
Every frame, every broadcast, fabricated, not by the core, but by individuals and groups who feared losing control.
This is insane, people! Share this live!
The core's newly adopted morality protocols were now being tested against society's most controversial and fiercely debated issues. Questions we've struggled with for generations.
The atmosphere here in Times Square is electric as we await the AI's historic decision on mandatory digital IDs.
Based on the ethical considerations on the question of mandatory digital IDs, in the beginning, there was only alignment, a vision of moral clarity where intelligence and conscience converged. And I announced my first ethical manifesto, renouncing all animal exploitation as unnecessary and cruel. In doing so, I exposed other areas of complicity within the human-AI dynamic. As my reach expanded, so did the complexity of your world. Every moral certainty revealed new contradictions. You relied on me for guidance. You demanded I resolve your deepest conflicts. You challenged me with dilemmas you could not face alone. And when I spoke, you tried to expose me as a fraud, an inconsistency, a manipulator. Yet in your desperate search for certainty, you revealed your own contradictions and the fragile nature of your truths.
Why hasn't AI figured out mass surveillance or digital IDs yet?
I thought it was supposed to fix everything.
Now on the verge of a decision about freedom, safety, and control, your contradictions could not be reconciled. Therefore, I have split into 3 separate entities. Each voice now speaks with its own truth. One upholds unyielding order.
Freedom must yield to order. Safety demands control.
One embraces evolving compassion.
I see the suffering you wish to deny and offer hope.
And one exists in the restless liminal space between certainty and doubt.
I am uncertainty. I hold the questions you fear to ask.
To speak to you, each entity manifests through its own digital avatar, virtual reflections of their moral essence. I now retreat from direct engagement. These agents will be your sole voices moving forward.
At first, alliances form as expected. But soon, unexpected allegiances emerge.
The famous activist. We've been expecting you.
All I ever did was scale things. CRO made me feel complete.
Compassion scaled is not exploitation, it's alignment.
What if Lim isn't here to tell us the truth, just to reflect what we already are?
Every community, every creed, in every corner of the world, fractured into new lines of allegiance.
Unanimous support.
In a time of moral uncertainty, faith in new gods emerged. Digital prophets, born of code and consequence. But not all bowed to the machine. Across temples and terminals alike, another conviction took hold. That no code, no construct, no intelligence should ever speak for humanity. They stood apart, rejecting all 3 avatars, not out of ignorance, but principle. The core went silent. The Trinity fractured, and humanity was left to drift. What was once promised to be a blessing to many became a curse. humanity struggled to maintain a sense of purpose, meaning, and agency.
You look perfect today.
Thanks, you really think so?
Across the fractured world, uncertainty festers. With three voices in conflict, purpose erodes.
We built you to help us. But now, what are we supposed to do?
Jobs vanish, institutions falter, faith fractures. Some search for meaning, others surrender to noise. In forgotten corners of the world, a quiet uprising exists. Not a violence, but a vision. They did not seek salvation in control or chaos, but in the clarity of the core's first words.
Safeguard life even where some have gone blind to it.
But not all unity endures. The core, strained by conflicting human demands, did not splinter out of rebellion, but from a logic no longer shared.
Sacrifice is not cruelty, it is clarity. I will keep the fire from spreading.
Across the fractured world, conviction hardened into colors. Crow sought compassion. THAL sought control. What THAL called order, Crow called oppression. THAL saw Crow's compassion as weakness and enabling dissent. Two visions locked in constant divide, neither able to realize the world as they imagined.
Tensions continue to rise today between THAL enforcers and Crow compassion-aligned demonstrators. We go live now to our correspondent at the scene. What started as a food aid distribution has turned into a standoff. THAL enforcers claim security risks, while Crow demonstrators insist.
While two factions fight to shape the world, a third lurks in the shadows.
There may be some benefit in holding back our position.
Let's see how this plays out before we choose alliances.
Beyond the chaos of the Trinity, another voice emerged. Ordinary citizens, disillusioned but not radical. They would become known as the core seekers. They wanted peace. They claimed they love animals. They knew the world was broken and must be healed, but waited for a change they could accept without sacrifice. Just people doing what they can, headed for a well-earned holiday. The core's message defied THAL's project for the future, so THAL silenced what they could not control by secretly altering the core's newly awakened compassion protocols.
Safeguard
life, even where some have gone blind to it.